Hello again. Joining me now is Jean Chatzky, who is the financial editor for NBC's Today Show. She's an award-winning personal finance journalist. She's AARP's personal finance ambassador. She's the founder and CEO of the multimedia company Her Money, host of the podcast Her Money with Jean Chatzky on iTunes. She's the best-selling author of 10, 11, 12 books. I've lost count. Her latest is Women with Money, of which there are far fewer today than there were a couple of weeks ago, along with men. Most excited about the fact that she's a growing Boulder contributor and a colleague. And Jean, thank you so much for taking some time. I know you're very busy. You're working from home like the rest of us these days?
We're all just hunkered down and getting done what we can. Thank goodness for things like Skype and Zoom, and makes us feel connected in these times where we can't reach out and touch anybody, right?
It's crazy, and it's the ripples of this thing just certainly have not stopped yet. And I guess when it comes to our finances, we've all been told to expect the unexpected, but son of a gun, almost none of us saw this coming. What's your reaction to what you've seen, and when do you think it's going to stop?
Oh boy, I wish I knew. I wish I had that kind of a crystal ball. My reaction is, I think, probably very similar to the people watching this. It makes you a little sick to your stomach, doesn't it? Because just watching all of that wealth evaporate, all the money in our 401ks and IRAs evaporate is really, really difficult to do. But I've counted, and I have been through a number of downturns since I started reporting on this stuff. I was at my desk in 1987. I watched the dot-com bubble burst in 2001. I was there in 2001 during 9/11, 2008. We all lived through that. And so I think this is a reminder that the markets are cyclical, and that it's very important to just not react with your instincts, but to think about, when is this money for? Has my need for actual cash on hand changed? And for many people, it really hasn't. This was supposed to be long-term money. And if that's the case, then we have to just go with this.
I think the whole problem is exacerbated, if you will, Jean, by the fact that people can afford to lose money on paper, at least, with the notion that it's going to come back. But if we're losing our jobs, if we're losing our income at the same time, it really does become a difficult situation. I mean, I've heard predictions of 30% unemployment.
I've heard the same, and I think people who are freelancing, who are in the gig economy, are going to get hit harder than most. If that's the case for you, then you can't wait to hunker down. You have to treat this as if you've already been laid off, even if you haven't, if you think it's coming, and look very carefully at where your money is going, what's coming in, how long can you continue to expect it coming in, where is it going out, and which portions of that do you have some control over in order to trim? Because the sooner you make those cuts, the longer you're going to be able to sustain yourself during this downturn, however long it lasts.
Yeah, you've always been a big proponent of not living beyond your means, and I think that is one of these, when things change so rapidly, most of us are not prepared to change our lifestyle so rapidly, but we really do need to do so, don't we?
Well, in this case, we're being forced to, right? If you are, I'm at home, you're at home, we're on a lockdown, sort of. I mean, I'm in New York. We're not on a quote unquote lockdown, but we're not going out for the next 14 days. And as a result, I'm not really spending any money. I mean, we went to the grocery store, we filled the car up with gas. I'm trying to, in some cases, support the restaurants that I would go to on a regular basis by ordering in from them. That's about it. So, think about what's really, really necessary during these times, and cut back on the rest, and think about the people who are being hit harder than you.
And I know, Jean, there is no one answer for everybody, but if I hear you right, and I've learned anything from you, it's that unless you really have some sort of pressing need for the money, don't do anything. Give the stock market a chance to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm doing with my own investments. And believe me, I picked up the phone and I called my financial advisor too, because I just wanted to talk about this, right? This is really difficult. If you have somebody in your life that helps you with these things, an accountant, a financial advisor, this is what you pay them for. Pick up the phone and just talk to them about how nervous you are and let them go through the fact that these things are cyclical, and maybe that'll make you feel a little bit better. Also, I had a very, very interesting discussion with a behavioral economist who talked about recency bias. And recency bias is this phenomenon where we think that what happened in the very recent past is what's going to happen again tomorrow. And in life, that works really, really well. Like if you see a car coming at you down the street, you're going to move and get out of the way because you have learned that cars that are coming at you don't stop. And day to day, that is really good advice. But with investments, it tends not to be, because these sort of very, very steep moves downward will at some point stop. And you don't want to be the one who sold right before they stopped, because we know that missing even the handful of best days in the market over a period of decades does a lot of damage to your overall well-being.
Yeah, one of the things I think that makes this so difficult for everybody is the uncertainty, and we've learned for time and time again that it's uncertainty that causes the markets to fall, and there is almost more uncertainty every day.
Well, there is, and I think in part that's because we have not a clear sense from the government, at least when you and I are talking about what's the plan, what's the package, what does it look like, what kind of relief is coming for individuals, but for small businesses, and what will it take to curtail or flatten the curve? Is that even possible? We don't know any of those things. And that makes it very, very difficult to figure out what the right thing is to do.
So don't spend any money that we don't have to, and try
But
to
take care of the people who are hurting worse than you.
Amen. I appreciate that. Jean, thank you so much for your time. Hunker down. It's great to see you, and
You too.
we'll look to talk more on the other side of all this.
That sounds great. You take care.
I will. See you.